Got a smoker behind me, a grill, a little boiler, and of course my wood box for my smoker, which to me seems functional, but I have been asked to get rid of these unsightly things. So I need a new container on this back porch to hold the smoked chips. Pecan shells, oak, lots of different kinds of wood. First thing to do when unboxing is just to pull these little staples out. It's wrapped very nicely. It's all organized. Make sure you remove this, all the staples. That left one I gotta get so you don't scratch the metal. Let's review the instructions. BIOHORT, owner's manual and assembly. It's the leisure time box, 51 gallons, what I have. It's a QR code if you want to go watch videos. I will tell you they have an excellent installation video. It's amazingly elegant, and I'm going to try to duplicate the steps they have. Quality from Austria. Watch out for sharp edges. Wear gloves, eye protection, keep kids away. Don't disassemble in windy conditions, so metal edges are sharp until it's assembled. Several people are needed for help. This is going to heat up in direct sunlight. Try not to get it on a concrete or somewhere it's going to scratch the metal. Wait until the end to assemble everything, to tighten everything. So assemble it all and then tighten it down. There's a little level symbol that you're going to need, a level. Got a scale 1 to 1 of the couple parts you need. Tells you to put the nut and washer in a nut driver and then attach it to the little bolt. QR codes, care and maintenance. Don't put chlorine and rock salt inside here. Rinse off suntan lotions. You don't want to degrade the metal and make it rust or scratch and rust. Check bolts regularly. Lubricate the lock once per year. Do not use by children. It could suffocate. Okay, let's put this thing together quickly. There are all the parts. That's really cool. They give you a little nut driver. I've had little wrenches included before, but 7mm nut driver. Take the screw, lift it up from the bottom, push it through the hole, hold it down, the washer on top. Tighten it with the screw, with the nut rather, tighten it with the nut. Just push down to get a little grip on the screw head. And spin it. And hand tighten. That's all we're going to do. We got this corner on. There's a little notch on this. That went up to the top of this. It has a notch on the top of this also, right here. And I got one on. I'm going to put another one on the other side and two on the other piece of siding. We have the first piece assembled there. And now we're going to put these sides on. Taking note to put this notch piece toward the front to make sure the side goes underneath the top here, and that we're putting a little bolt from the outside and the nut and washer. By the way, these bolts don't have heads on them, they're smooth looking. So we're going to put those two, then stand it up, and yeah, this yellow part, green part, or whatever, it's actually all gray. It's just green for illustration to differentiate in the book. We'll go below the bottom lip here on this piece. Okay, I have first one in. This side goes under the top. Put the nut in, tighten it with my hand. Put another nut in down here, and then you can see the two holes for the next two. Put the nut through and then hand tighten them. And at the side goes under the bottom, the back. The bottom of the side goes under the bottom of the back. When you load up this nut driver, put the little nut in there and the washer on top. Really does help. Pay attention in this side. We've got several holes on the top, and they go on the outside over here, presumably for the handle part. Now we're going to slide the bottom in, and looks like it goes on top of the sides. The bottom does, and there should be opposing holes here in the corner. I don't think it matters which direction because they both have a hole in the corners. They're going to tie into the bottom part of this guy and this guy. So it's three overlapping holes down there. Okay, I have the sides on this panel, taking note to keep the notches at the top. I presume that's where the flap door in the top bars are going to go through. Now we're going to bring the front into here, taking care to put the front on top of the side edge over here. And we're basically going to put 2 times 4 sets of attachers here. So I'll just keep this on top. Alright, have the front positioned on here, on top of the sides. There we go. I'll screw it in the sides now. Not the top one, but the bottom 3. Alright, we have the front secured. 2 times 3 sets of these attachers. Put the front on top of the side, and also make sure the bottom panel is on top of this front. So this bottom lip here is underneath this panel, all the way around all 4 corners. Next, we're going to take these plastic bottoms, put them on here, take the longer bolt, push it in the bottom, then come up through these holes. They'll have to line in the insert, and then attach it with the nut and washer. Okay, we'll take this little thing, put the corner up, feel for the hole, just push it through. There, it aligned immediately. Good. You can see it right here. All right, I'm very pleased how easy those legs went in. Austrian engineering, Austrian, German, Swiss. They're real precise in their measurements and fit. So again, none of these are tightened down. You just adhere it enough to keep it in place. Now I'm going to put a corner brace on the back corners. Okay, I have one corner on. It was a little tricky to understand at first. This little brace, for my size, looks like an L. It's going to go up underneath here, underneath this slot here. And there's one front hole we're going to use, and it's going to attach through this corner right here, this plastic bracket. I'm going to use a longer nut to go through here, so in this step it's only going to attach one bolt into here. And I'll also note, for some reason I had these shorter bolts in there when I started the assembly, so you don't need them on here. I'll just take that one out. Alright, have the 2 corners on, the longer bolts, 18 with the metal bracket up in here on both sides. Alright, now we're going to add the corners in the front, 2 of the M18 bolts. It also says put 2 of these M4x10 bolts here, attach them. I don't know if they're used later or not. I didn't jump ahead. Let's get those in and these 2 corners in. Make sure you put the double holes to the outside. With the corners on, now we're going to put the lock on. With some of these big bolts, it says tighten. Okay, put that on. We're now going to add this little lock mechanism. This attaches to the lock, and he's poking the ends. It says make sure the ends go up and then horizontal, not across and upwards. And then they're going to attach to the lock, and we'll use that third screw to attach it. And you see it comes out this hole when you push it up. And get the other end. Push it up. Drop that hole. Okay, I aligned it so that when it's horizontal, it's in lock position. When you turn it, it's open, vertical here, closed, and horizontal here. And that just screws in there. And this little hinge mechanism just slides in here, attached to the M10 bolts. Okay, put some cardboard on and have the lid sitting on the top, similar to how it's going to go. This is going to screw in here, and then we're going to have these little plugs, these rubber plugs go in these holes. I presume that's for noise. Give it a little cushion. They just snap in. You should feel them pop in, and this will tighten up. That's going to be attached to the little hinge that we installed when we flip this over. Okay, we tighten the 3 screws on the lock, 2 in the front and 1 in the back to hold the locking mechanism, and we tighten this. Everything else is just loosely fastened right now. This up, and I put these hinges on there and got 1 bolt started here, 1 bolt without touching it, screwing it on with a nut. Got this one started, and then up here I have my knees in the back to hold this. Push the bolt through, and then use this nut driver. Try to reach underneath there. Took me quite a few times to get it. The inside here is scattered with nuts and bolts that fell in. Got 1 more to do on this side. Line it up. The bolt in. Load up the nut driver. Same angle as the nut. There we go. Okay, let's see what's next. Next step is this cord. It's going to go into this hole and into this hole. You basically tie a knot, put it through the big end and come around and pull. And then push it through the side hole and tie another knot, so just keeps it from falling backwards on itself. We're also going to connect the little hinge system to that little plug. I have more room. Tie a simple slip knot. There we go. Push this back in the hole. Go in there. There we go. Okay, we've got the little hinge mechanism. Open it up, lock it. Open it up. Keeps it from going too far. Yeah. The safety, I guess, for this hinge. Okay. We got the last pieces on. It's important to note every bottom of these pages says Important sharp edges. Wear gloves to prevent injury. Be careful. Now we're going to get a little string and make sure that these angles across this rectangle are equal and level. E equals F, plus or minus 3/16 of an inch. And then we're going to tighten everything. And after we tighten everything, we can get these little white caps and put them over all the screw heads. Okay, I'm going to push this straight edge right in the corner of the metal and measure it to approximately right where this corner hits. And it looks like it's just at 38 right there. Let me try it on the other side. And you see here we're 37.5. So we have some adjusting to do. Okay, I've got the top row of screws and bolts tightened. Just a suggestion, this bolt back here, tighten it before you put this on because it's a little tricky to get to. I was wondering how these are going to adhere, but there's no head on these. You just screw, and I'm really pleasantly surprised and pleased that when you tighten these, they just pull in and tighten. There's no square head on the threads. So I may get my drill out with a loose chuck and get all these done real quickly. Even the dogs are happy. We got to page intentionally left blank. 2 of them. We finished. Looks nice. See, blends with the house. I think it's a shade of gray, but it looks sort of a little aged bronze, which all our fixtures are inside and out. You have transferred 2 big rounds of fresh oak chips that I cut in my yard. Had someone grind them for me. They've been curing for a couple years. Another bag of it here also. Got most of it poured over. Charcoal, oak, pecan shells, pecan wood, mesquite, apple wood. I emptied those 2 plastic containers and put it in here. It's actually organized for me in terms of I know where everything is. Boom. Don't mess with my smoking wood.